There is a place where the air feels thick with silence, where shoes are neatly placed beside trees, and handwritten notes flutter in the wind. A haunted, hungry forest. This is the story of Japan's suicide forest, before the internet made it a morbid curiosity for millions. Aokigahara, also known as the Sea of Trees, nestled at the base of Japan's most iconic mountain, Mount Fuji. For decades, it has been linked with death, a place where people go, not to hike, not to picnic, but to disappear. Japan, especially in the 60s and 70s, was undergoing rapid economic growth, but growth brought pressure. Aokigahara's macabre reputation goes back long before the digital age. Long before mental health awareness was mainstream, Japan already grappled with the silent epidemic of suicide. Yet the forest's association with death predates even that. Some historians believe Aokigahara's reputation began in the 19th century with a practice called ubasut, a now debated folklore tale where elders were allegedly abandoned in remote places to die during times of famine. While the historical accuracy is contested, the legend stuck. A forest where people were left to die, a land haunted by suffering. Over time, this idea merged with Japanese spiritual beliefs, particularly eerie, the restless spirits of the dead who cannot move on. Even before people spoke of it as a suicide hotspot, locals avoided Aokigahara at night. Strange sounds, disorienting energy, compasses that wouldn't point north, whispers with no wind. You might think the suicide forest became famous in the 2010s with viral content, but even in the analog days, Aokigahara was already infamous. By the 1980s and 1990s, journalists had caught on. Some published raw photos, bodies, skeletons, evidence left behind. It wasn't viral, but it was national. And still, Japan's suicide rate continued to rise. Economic crashes, such as the lost decade in the 90s, led to unemployment, debt, and despair. The forest became a mirror of a national crisis few wanted to discuss. Mental health support in Japan was minimal. Depression was a shameful secret. And suicide, for some, it was tragically seen as a rational choice, even an act of reclaiming dignity and failure. Aokigahara was not a horror story. It was a monument to silence, pressure, and pain. Behind every statistic, there is a person, a student who couldn't pass exams, a salaryman crushed by debt, a woman who left behind a letter asking no one to look for her. These were not monsters, not villains, just people lost. Some came with notes, others left nothing behind. Some changed their minds, found by search parties or by sheer chance. Those who survived described being pulled in, not by spirits, but by a feeling that this was the right place to end things. Some locals report hearing crying, others nothing at all. Every year, volunteers walk the trails, some to clean, some to find the lost, some to pray. One Buddhist monk, Shoko Kanazawa, visited regularly to chant sutras and offer blessings, not just for the dead, but for the living, hoping the forest could become something more than a place of endings. In Japanese folklore, death outside the home, especially suicide, often leads to restless spirits. Yurei, these spirits are said to wander, unable to find peace. Some say Aokigahara is full of them, not angry, not evil, just stuck, just like the people who came there. Spiritualists have performed rituals there. Locals hang protective charms, and still the deaths continued. What makes this forest so different isn't just its reputation, it's how it feels. GPS doesn't always work. Compasses spin. The thick trees block out sound. You can scream, and no one hears. And in that silence, it becomes clear. Aokigahara doesn't just reflect death. It reflects everything Japan and the world wasn't willing to talk about. In the 2000s, internet forums and blogs whispered about the forest. Then in 2018, a controversial YouTuber filmed a deceased man's body there. Laughing, joking, the world was outraged, but Aokigahara had already held decades of pain. The internet didn't curse the forest, it just exposed what had been hidden all along. If this story moved you, consider subscribing for more untold histories and human stories from around the world. Hit the like button, share with someone who needs to hear this, and let us know your thoughts in the comments.